Namaste. I, Simran Kaushal, welcome you all in the brand new episode of Science Bits only on Bharata First. Science Bits is all about a science which is simplified in a short, crisp, and a unique manner by the experts. Enhance your scientific knowledge and skills through Science Bits. Science Bits involves discussion about the various trending topics related to science and technology. Let your curiosity out and ask questions through a form provided in the description box below. Do make use of this opportunity. Now, I would like to introduce to a science expert, Dr. T.V. Venkateshwaran, who is a senior scientist at Vigyan Prasar, New Delhi. He is also founder of India Science Wire. So, today's question is,
First, let's understand what is meant by data sovereignty. Data sovereignty is a concept, particularly that has emerged in the recent past when the data exploded. With social media coming in, internet spreading to nooks and corners, the amount of data generated is very huge. So, this concept is that information which has been created or stored or both in digital format will be subject to the laws of the country in which it is located or created. Like, for example, a particular social media company might be a multinational company with its headquarters in some other country. So, with respect to the data which is collected, let's say, for example, India, will Indian law apply on that multinational company, a company which is a foreign company but providing services in India? That's the question. So the data sovereignty says that yes, it should be applicable, and various countries have come to agree to it at this point of time. Although the corporate are not fully in favor of data sovereignty, they are pointing out a lot of issues in it. So, what is the principle behind data sovereignty? First of all, any data that is collected and used should be lawful. There should be some amount of fairness and there should be transparency. Like, say, for example, a particular website may ask let's say, certain personal information or a copy of my identity card, and you don't want that agency to use my identity card elsewhere, right? Without my knowledge, without my expressed permission, right? So that's where the lawfulness, fairness, transparency comes in. And second, the purpose should be limited. For example, if the data is collected for a particular purpose, then it should have a limitation. It should not be used in various other places, because I will have no way of keeping track of where those information are used. Okay. And whatever data that is being collected should be minimal, essential for that particular purpose. Okay. So there should be certain standards with respect to accuracy. Similarly, there should be some storage limitation. If a data is collected from me today, will that company will be permitted to store it for ages, or should that, for example, destroy that information, let's say, after every 3 years, 1 year, whatever, some time period? There should be also some integrity. They should not share my information with somebody else. There should be some confidentiality. I have given some information in confidence, right? So that confidentiality should be maintained. And the company which is collecting the data should be accountable. They can't say that, oh, we tried, we can't do anything. That should be accountable. These are all the aspect of data sovereignty in modern times. Okay. So the challenges that comes for the data sovereignty is that earlier data were stored in what is called as servers. So it was all physical items. So you can say that India could say that, for example, all the data collected in India should be saved in servers in India. But today it's cloud. So cloud is a non-physical entity, though it's interconnected with physicality. Okay, finally it is stored in some cloud. I mean, some server somewhere. But the cloud service is cutting across number of servers. It's like, for example, internet, right? So if it is so, then how will the law apply to a cloud which is not in any country? That's one big challenge that the firms dealing with the data like Google and others are pointing out. Okay, and it's a debate right now going on in data sovereignty, how you would manage it. Similarly, for example, if data is collected in India by an American company, can the American law enforcement agency say that that data should be given to them because it's American company? These are all challenges that are going on in the arena. There are all debates which are going on in the arena. Okay, so even if it is in the cloud, people are working out whether you can make certain kind of security so that only I mean, you can segregate the data according to the regions and sovereignty area and provide that data sovereignty to people. There is a law or a code protocol, one can call it, General Data Protection Regulation. Usually it's called as GDPR. That was made by the European Union, which is seen as a kind of a good standard all over the world. Okay, so if you look at where it is currently there, you can see that uh, most restricted with the GDPR are these countries. Okay, so these are the countries. Minimal restriction, for example, US is minimal restriction, India is minimal restriction, although in India, the work for introducing something like a GDPR is taking place. Okay, of course, many parts of Africa, there is no law at all, right? So these are all the things that is happening all over the world. If you look at the legislation for data, this is the way the legislation are happening around the world. 66% of the countries have some kind of a legislation. 10% are in the draft stage. Okay, 19% no legislation at all, and about 5%, of course, we don't have data about countries. Okay, so this is the data sovereignty.